Hello, and welcome to Godless Engineer interviewing important people. I am here tonight with C0ct0pus Prime. If you don't know him, you should know him. So I have various links scrolling at the bottom of this thing tonight, but go to his channel, just C0ct0pus Prime with zeros in it. He uploads some really great videos. A lot of it is bashing Fox News, which is always fun to do and easy to do a lot of the times.
Sometimes the low-hanging fruit tastes the best.
Yeah. So we're here tonight. We're talking about C0ct0pus's religious background and what experiences he had while he was in the faith and what got him started questioning all that good stuff. And then we'll get into some more maybe current events or C0ct0pus related, directly related stuff. So as far as what he's doing, so C0ct0pus. Let's start off let's start off with the first question being, what faith did you grow up in, or what's your religious background in general?
My dad was a Baptist, but my mom was a Catholic, and she was much more persistent, and my dad didn't really care nearly as much, so she basically badgered him into coming to Catholic church and doing all that shit. And so I was raised Catholic. Which a lot of people, for some reason, will say isn't Christian, which is, like, to me it is. It's, to me, even Mormonism is Christianity because it uses, Jesus as a deity figure. Anyhow, the point is that I was raised, baptized, had my Holy Communion, and I was confirmed. I went through the whole gambit with the Catholic Church. Never got my butthole played with. I was hoping for that one. That's the one thing they could have done for me. I don't mind a little bit of ass play. I'm just kidding. For anyone out there that doesn't know me, but sorry. But yeah, eventually, let's see. I grew up overseas. Well, mostly the high school, especially, and where I was confirmed was overseas. They actually had one church. It was such a small island, and then just all the different religious factions would share that church because it was too small of an island. There was no need for multiple. It was basically just a building that they used to do all this different stuff. But there's only 20 kids in my graduating class, but there wasn't a lot of religious push on me from anyone besides really my mom, who I guess eventually got tired of trying to hassle me out of bed on Sunday mornings. Which, by the way, where I went to school, we went to school Tuesday through Saturday. So if you went out and hung out with your friends or whatever on a Saturday night, which is like a Friday night for you guys, you went to school and you want to go out on a Friday night. That's a Saturday night to us, and we would have to get up and go to church if our parents were trying to make us and shit like that. So that was terrible. But I really didn't have a real argument or doubt. It was more like something I just didn't want to do until I really started hitting some higher level biology courses. And that'll just make you start thinking a lot deeper about this shit that you've been taught. And I actually had a lot of questions. The father of the church, Father Sullivan, I asked him about evolution. He believed in it. This is before the Pope was okay with evolution. And he was one of the only people I'd ever met that was okay with evolution. But to me, it was just a way of adapting his religion to science and to the world and the facts as we now know them in this age of technology, where science is making these huge leaps of progress. And he's just trying to adapt his religion to it. And that really turned me off from religion. I started noticing a lot more of that kind of stuff going on, and a lot more of the attributing everything good to God and everything bad to people or the devil, and it's just such a cop-out. And I really decided I didn't want to be a part of that. And then after that, as most people do when they drop their faith, I started looking at the actual arguments, and it if once you start really looking at the arguments from a non-religious perspective, if you're not trying to cling on to your religion, you start examining the actual arguments, it becomes pretty clear pretty quick that, religion is bullshit. And the most you'll ever get out of me is like deism. I can respect deism, but not theism.
Yeah, I hear you on that one. I can, while I still think the deism is a little out there, I guess. I think it's better than having this personal God that is just, monitoring your thoughts for, just in case the casual,
it's much more believable to think that, okay, there is a higher power that created everything, right? That's much more believable than there's a higher power that created everything, including like stars and supernovas and black holes, and he cares where you stick your dick. Like, that's totally unbelievable. And it just so happens that this personal God of yours agrees with you in all of your opinions. And it just so happens the Bible and all holy text is written in a way in which you can back up your argument no matter what your argument is. You could say you want to like just nuke the planet and find some biblical fucking verse to back it up because the Bible's all over the place, and you can find some spot in it that'll back up pretty much any craziness. And that's yet another thing that drove me away from religion, is seeing how many people all claim to worship the same God, all acted so terribly differently and treated their religion so differently.
Yeah, it was kind of the same way with me, except it came a little bit later, like when I was kind of trying to figure out what exactly I believed, because before that I had just kind of accepted shit as it came, and but then what got me to really I guess flip the switch as far as admitting whether I was a Christian was my friend pulled a No True Scotsman on me. I didn't know that's what it was at the time, but he pulled that on me, and he basically said, well, if you don't consider that the Bible is the inerrant word of God, then you're not a real Christian. And I'm like, well, I'm definitely not a fucking real Christian. So, but then that's when I kind of started looking into it and really kind of noticing like all the layers of bullshit that's contained in it. Oh, and sorry, by the way, Skeptic Finch Show commented saying that you love ass play, so we know you're lying.
Yeah, I gave him the link, and that might have been a mistake, but no. And big shout out to my Skeptic Friends crew, Auto Spy, Grumpy Cat, what is Love Dick or whatever the hell the last guy is. I appreciate all of you guys. They get to put up with me all the time. Those poor bastards. The only person I feel more sorry for than them is my girlfriend. Who has to put up with this shit all the fucking time. But I was going to make a point about them. They'll use an argument on you that has the reverse effect. One of them for me that always left a bad taste in my mouth was the Jesus Christ, Pascal's wager. Pascal's wager. It always left a bad taste in my mouth before I dropped religion, before I studied the arguments, against it. I was like, oh, don't say that. Don't be like, it's better just because maybe if. Like, that's such a bad argument. It makes you look so weak. And I guess when you don't have any kind of evidence or proof or anything like that, that's what you end up relying on. And for someone like me, it raises all kind of red flags that say scam alert. Like, trying to be convinced that the Bible is true is like trying to convince me that a Nigerian prince has $9.6 million for me in some fucking bank account, and all I got to do is send him like $3,500 to process the paperwork. Like, it's just not gonna fucking happen, man. I'm too bright for that shit. I'm sorry. Now I can be tricked into some other shit. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I'm not that fucking dumb. I'm not going to fall for the Bible or any of fucking holy text where man claims to have God all fucking figured out.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Skeptic Fence is saying that it was a big mistake, by the way.
Yeah.
And that he's sure that it was a bad taste in your mouth.
What a douchebag. Big boy, yeah. That's my buddy Joe. You know, Joe actually, this sounds more like he's my sugar daddy, but he actually got me my cell phone and my computer.
Oh wow, that's pretty cool.
I know. The cell phone thing was just kind of lucky because he just didn't need this fucking iPhone, and he knew that I still had a flip phone. I upgraded to an iPhone 4 recently from a fucking Razr, a fucking flip phone. I never text or anything. I've got giant hands. It's really hard to freaking to like look at my thumb compared to the goddamn phone.
Yeah.
You know? It's really fucking hard to text. And so I never really did, but this is an upgrade to me. I immediately put like one of those like super protective cases on there because I feel like I'm constantly going to break the little thing. Anyway, but yeah, technology, I really don't give a shit. My last computer was shit, and Joe hooked me up. He's just a good guy and an awesome sugar daddy, and I promise to give you a little bit of ass play later, buddy.
Yeah, he's questioning the sugar daddy right now.
Yeah. Pretty sure he is indeed my sugar daddy.
Yeah. So, was there anything that really made you want to like start calling yourself atheist, or was it pretty much you atheist right out the part or gate?
It was the same thing that makes me call myself a liberal and a progressive. It's the fact that the majority that disagree with me, they put that label on me. They use atheist like it's a bad word. They use liberal like it's a bad word. They're like, oh, dude, that liberal, as if that's an insult or whatever. And I'm like, wait a second. If disagreeing with your retarded ass makes me a liberal, then I guess I'm a liberal. And if not buying into all this religious woo-woo and faith bullshit makes me a fucking atheist, then I guess I'm a fucking atheist. And that's kind of the direction I took with it. It was more of a in spite than really thought out. But I eventually, after years of going over these fucking arguments back and forth, I'm pretty sure I made the right decision. I certainly, you can't claim that I only go to reaffirm my own position. You know, I've had people say like, oh, you only look to reaffirm your own position. Every single video I do is covering someone that disagrees with me. Like, that's kind of like the point, is I make responses to people that disagree with me already, you know, and shooting down their arguments should not be this easy. Should not be this easy. Somebody should think about their own arguments a little bit more before giving them. And look, I'm guilty. I've made shitty arguments. I've gotten too shit-faced and thought I was being intellectual, but I was actually just blah, blah, blah. You know, and you go back and, like, if I watch this interview tomorrow, I might be like, Jesus Christ, I sound like a complete jerk-off. But, you know, whatever. I'm kind of off the cuff. But as far as time and time proving my point and the arguments that I believe to be true, there are others that I'm wishy-washy on. Islam. Okay, so the Islamic terrorists do shit. Now there's arguments on both sides, like, you know, Islam is the problem, or it's just the extremists. And then you like try and separate what's, you know, a moderate Muslim from an extremist Muslim, and you start making different arguments. And there's good arguments to be made. And there's something where my opinion can shift. But things like, you know, politically, I'm a liberal progressive. I think the government, it does not get everything right, but what it gets wrong, it needs to be fixed. I think that government has been used and corrupted terribly by money. And honestly, I think that like people in government shouldn't get paid very much, maybe like twice minimum wage, and that would discourage them from just having all these lobbyists and shit that's totally ruined this fucking American dream. The only reason you could still believe in the American dream, as George Carlin said, is if you're still sleeping.
Well, to get into some kind of current events, I guess, how do you feel about Ted Cruz getting put ahead of the NASA committee?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about when I say, like, corrupted and stupid. Like, how like, Louis Gohmert. How the fuck does Louis Gohmert get fucking elected? Like, over and over. And how was he a judge before he was a fucking congressman? That man, just like Nancy Grace, was a fucking prosecutor. That complete bimbo. Did you see the interview with her and 2 Chainz?
No, I didn't.
Oh, go look at that one after we're done here, sir. It's about fucking pot legalization, and she is a blathering idiot. A complete fucking moron. And 2 Chainz is like this calm guy giving rational arguments. The fucking gold tooth rapper wearing sunglasses inside, by the way, comes off as the totally fucking calm, level-headed one, and she comes off as batshit. Oh, it's embarrassing. And she was a prosecutor. I feel like, you know what I do? I work in a kitchen. It's a really nice kitchen, all right? And I get paid well. And we serve, like, really, it's a classy fucking place. So I'm lucky and proud to work at this particular restaurant. But I just work at a fucking restaurant at the end of the day. And I am much smarter than these people. How did they get these fucking positions of power? How are they in charge of dictating if someone else goes to jail or how long they should go to jail? These people, Louis Gohmert is worried about people casting aspersions on his asparagus. And the man is fucking retarded, and he gets elected over and over and over. And we have, like, who is it? Kay Hagan or some shit. I castrated hogs, so when I get to Washington, I'll know how to cut pork. Get the fuck. I can't remember her name. Is that it? Anyway, it's fucking retarded, and it's really disheartening. I don't really see it getting better while we still have money in politics. I have no idea if that answers your question at all. I just tend to go off on tangents.
No, that was great. But I know a lot of people, not a lot, sorry. Some people in the thread are kind of confused about the NASA situation. There's a NASA oversight committee that dictates, like, budget and other administrative stuff. And then there's the actual NASA, the organization. So it's just kind of like the organization, and then there's the committee that appropriates money for it. And Ted Cruz is ahead of that committee, which I find is just fucking unbelievable, considering that he's just like, oh no, God controls the weather. It's not climate change.
That's the direction we're fucking going.
Yeah, well, and it really amazes me because back when we had lead gasoline, and they paid off scientists and other people to lie about whether or not the lead was getting added to our environment because we were using it, and it's like the exact same fucking thing is happening now, but they're just still like, no.
No, they it's when you allow corporations to put money into politics, they're going to pay the politicians. The politicians need money to run their campaigns, and they need money to line their pockets. So who's got the money? The corporations. So the corporations pay them, and naturally they got to return the fucking favor, which means deregulating. When you have people who are in charge of regulating shit, and they just go about saying deregulation is the best, then why the fuck did we put them in charge of regulating shit? Like, I understand there's a level of bureaucracy which can be, like, mind-numbing and stupid. Fuck, I can't stand the DMV, for fuck's sake. But there is a certain level of regulation which is, like, necessary. You have to fucking have it. You don't want, like, the fracking shit where they make the water in an entire fucking area undrinkable. That's not That's not okay. You have to regulate against that kind of shit. And there's people out there that are just fucking stupid. They're like, oh, limit the government, smaller government. But then they want to like be like, oh, make sodomy illegal and shit like that, or make, keep Muslims from coming into the country or shit like that. That's not small government. That's huge government. You want to have the military in all these other countries and have all these like wars and offensives going on, and then call yourself small government and shit. Get the fuck out of here. All they mean by small government is social welfare programs. They just don't want to help anybody, and it's really ironic because that everybody that votes Republican isn't rich. It's not in their best interest. They're just fucking too stupid, or something like I hate queers. So since I hate queers and Republicans hate queers, I'm Republican. Like, if that's the case, you're just a douchebag. Because there's not that many rich people that they are all Republican. You know what I mean? Like, I can understand being a Republican because it's in your best interest. I can understand that. Like, that's not terrible. But to be a Republican against your own best interest just because of your social views or something like that, you're just a fucking idiot.
Yeah. I would have to say if you don't know, I'm from North Alabama, and
yeehaw.
Yeah, I know. Sometimes it seems like the only thing they check for when going for a political position is whether or not you're fucking your sister. But
anyone gonna be fucking my sister? It's gonna be me.
But I've seen a lot of people like stick with a certain political affiliation, even though they disagree with most of the things that it talks about. What kind of dog do you got?
It's a Shiba Inu.
Oh, cool.
The internet meme sensation, Doji. Oh yeah, such Doji. Chiba. Hey, look at the camera. Be sweet, dog. Look at the camera. Show him your cute face. All right, sorry. He just won't leave me alone, so I wanted to show him some quick attention. Show him off. He's a sweet dog, though. He's a good boy.
I've got 3, actually. Purebred Beagle, a Golden Retriever Labrador mix, and then a mutt, basically. Rat Terrier mutt.
Yeah. Like a little one?
Yeah.
So you got like a small, a medium, and a large?
Pretty much.
Nice. So I've got just the dog and a cat, and I used to have like a 6-foot corn snake, but I got tired, honestly, of cleaning up after it and shit, and so gave it to a good home. I used to also have a bearded dragon, but he was a pussy. Like he was huge and he was awesome looking. He was the hugest fucking bearded dragon, but he wouldn't, like, he was scared of crickets. Like, he would only eat mealworms. He was just a giant pussy. But whatever. I eventually sold him because he got so big. He was just worth a lot of money, so I sold him. And then now I just have a fish tank. Nothing. I like animals. I've always been into it. I'm finally at that maturity level where a fish tank is not something that's just going to become like, an algae pit.
Yeah.
Like, I'm willing to actually take care of it. My fish do rather well. It's not a big one, but whatever. My pleco is about fucking 7 inches right now in a goddamn small tank. I think he's met his maximum size. If he gets any bigger, I'm gonna have to take him back. He's fucking getting too big for the tank. Anyway, back on topic.
Yeah, if there was one.
Yeah, ever. This is usually what it turns into when I'm being interviewed.
Well, I guess I have a question on my mind. Like, what made you started like doing the YouTube videos and whatnot?
The actual story of how I started my very first YouTube video. There was some guy that hated Hitchens, and his name was Hitchwatch, and he used to make videos, and I used to leave comments saying these videos blow, and he'd respond by saying, "You don't even make videos." What do you know? So I bought a webcam and a fucking mic, just a cheap little shit, and I made like a 10-second video, and I was like, here, now I make videos, and your videos still fucking suck. That was it. But that was the start of the channel anyway, and me making videos. And then from there, I just talked about random bullshit, really, like kind of all over the place. And then I did my first Fuck Fox News video, and I got a lot of subscribers out of it, a lot of views, and so I figured I'd make a part 2. Mm-hmm. And then I did a part 3 and it went up to something like 60. I did 60, and then I finally just dropped that, and I just, from the title, because it got monotonous.
Yeah.
And then I just basically put whatever it was about. But if Fox News says something stupid, like 9 times out of 10, I'll try and respond to it one way or another, either in a live show or through a video or whatever, something from my patrons.
Let's see. Cock now have a pussy and a smelly fish. That's what Skeptic Finch Show said.
He doesn't even have grammar. It's like, cock now have grammar. How about that?
Well, actually, what got me started on doing on doing the YouTube videos, at least, was other people like you that were actually doing videos, and I saw it as kind of like a next step, I guess, because I'd been on Facebook, like I had a Facebook page, and it was kind of getting a little big, and so then I was like, well, I felt like it was kind of like the next step, as far as doing an actual video, letting people see my face or whatnot. And
well, I can totally agree, and I've shown my face without the glasses and whatever. I mainly wear the glasses because, quite honestly, the lighting is a little bit harsh, and I don't like squinting, and also I like to be able to look around the screen without my eyes darting around, and shit like that. Plus, I smoke weed, so, I don't want to be all, like, chink-eyed. Is that okay to say? I'm sorry, Jap-eyed is what I meant. That's more PC, I think. But yeah, whatever. But showing your face and going on there doing all that, I was kind of lucky because my original C0ct0pus channel got permanently suspended, which I don't know how that makes sense, but it was suspended forever. And so I had to make this second channel, C0ct0pus Prime. And I had a few bigger name subscribers that thought it was bullshit and gave me shout outs, and I ended up getting, like, I don't even think I had 2,000 subscribers when that original channel went down. And then now, after their shout outs and everything, I was up to like 6,000 or 7,000. And then from there, I've been building it. And I just passed 32,000 like last week.
That's cool.
Or a few days ago. 32,000 is not bad. Not too shabby. I'll take it. That's like quasi YouTube internet fame somewhat. Although I do have my Patreon is pretty successful. I just passed $400 a month.
Yeah, I noticed.
Hey,
and I know that you're really holding out to even mess with Facebook or Twitter.
I really don't. I don't have the time. God damn it! I don't even. I have a Facebook, like a personal Facebook account, and I'll have people be like, "Is there something wrong?" Like I'm like, "What?" Like I sent you a friend request like 2 weeks ago. And nothing. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, that's because I log into that Facebook like twice a year. I don't care. I just don't give a shit about that kind of stuff. And Twitter, holy fuck, I don't know how a website like that takes off. I honestly don't. Like here's what it is. It's a chat room where one person gets to say one thing in 140 characters, and then everyone gets to go read that one. How in the fuck is that popular? I guess it's the hashtag. The hashtag thing made it popular. But honestly, like, I remember when a tweet was something Barbara Walters gave her dog. Anyway,
yeah,
all right.
Yeah, I didn't really get into Twitter or anything like that until well after I had a Facebook page. Because what made me start my Facebook page was my wife. She started a Facebook page, and I was like, well, I've got shit to say too. And so I started one, and I pretty much just used it to comment on other pages, and that got me noticed by like the page owners, and so there were a few big pages that shared my stuff on occasion, and so that's pretty much. And I think my page somehow got into a hole into the Facebook algorithm, because there was like one, like I think it was last summer, it like pretty much took off, and it built like every single day. I think there was probably a week where I had about 1,000 likes in the entire week. And so, because I actually had people messaging the page like, hey, could your ass please stop showing up in my feed? And I'm like, I can't stifle awesomeness.
Hey, getting 1,000 likes on anything is not an easy task. I was extremely pleased. I don't remember exactly which video it was, but I remember my first video that got 1,000 likes, and I was quite happy with myself. Quite pleased. I masturbated thinking about myself that night.
It's like, Cock, why did you scream out "Cocktopus" last night?
Because I'm awesome. And I got 1,000 likes.
Well, no. Do you know that it's an old church video where it's Jesus is my nigger or nigga?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let his light shine through you. I can't remember fucking all the lyrics, but yeah, his wife raps in the end.
Yeah. I had that, and I posted it, the video, on Facebook, and I went back and I looked at it today because Facebook is trying to be all like YouTube with their video section on pages, but I looked at it and it had like 3,000 shares on that one video, and I was just like, wow. That was back when Facebook didn't like cut your reach down to like 1%. Because that's pretty much what it is now. And I get the feeling that most YouTube channels see like an organic view rate of about like 10% or so.
Like you can look through your actual analytics and find out, but I've gotten like a good chunk of views just from dark matter, like liking a video of mine or something like that. Dark matter comments or likes, and then he gets a couple hundred extra views, or you know what I mean. Sometimes more if it's the last one that he likes or comments on for a period of time, it's going to get, I guess, more attention because it's not just running down the feed, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
By the way, Dark Matter is a complete douchebag, and he can't animate worth the rat's ass, and he should invest in a fucking hairpiece. Just in case he's listening.
Yeah.
Love you, John.
I have to say, I have been liking his series on what was it? It's that First Kings or whatever he was doing, the one with Arnold Schwarzenegger
with Samson.
Samson, that's right, Samson. Yeah,
I want to talk to Samson. Not gonna do what everyone thinks I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna flip out. I need to go watch Half Baked again.
Yeah.
Anyway, hey, look, I can still hear you. Hopefully, you can still hear me. I'm just going to take a few steps over here and have a cigarette, if you don't mind.
Okay.
It's been a long day.
Samson, yeah. But crap.
Hello.
Hey, yeah,
Oh.
I'm here. I'm blanking on a question to ask.
No. It's like with Dark Matter. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, like with Dark Matter, the Samson thing. It was great. I'm one of his patrons, so I got to see all like the making of and the stills, like while he was coming up with the characters and shit. So, but yeah, he does a great job with all that shit. I love Darkback. He lives only a fucking like hour and a half, 2 hours away from me.
Huh.
Like right. He's on the west side of Florida. I'm in Central Florida.
Ah.
The motherfucker drives a Lotus. Yeah,
those are pretty awesome.
Yeah. I mean, but I'm saying this asshole is loaded. I don't even think he works. He's all he does is work out and animate shitty YouTube videos.
Well, I guess to get kind of a topic going, did you little bit of a current event? Did you hear about the gun range that denied the son and the father from shooting there because they looked and they were questioning the Muslim policy?
Wait. The father and son were questioning the Muslim policy?
Well, yeah, okay, so what happened was the father and son came there to practice shooting or whatnot, or just shoot at the gun range in general. And the gun range has a no Muslim policy, right? And so they had darker skin, and so at first the gun range kind of thought they were Muslim, but they denied being Muslim, but they questioned the rule, and that's when they got kicked out of the gun range, and pretty much.
Aren't you just asking for to get shot up when you make rules like that? Shit, like, dude, it's a gun range. I don't know. I live in Florida, and if you want to shoot a gun, you just go find a fucking empty spot of land. Because there's lots of areas around here, and it's only it's a quicker fucking drive than a gun range, I'm sure. I know of a couple gun stores around here that have their own small ranges, so you can test weapons before you buy them. I'm not huge anti-gun or anything like that. I can't stand the phrase "guns don't hurt people" or shit like that. Bullshit. Guns fucking hurt people, and then the people are like, well, then you got to outlaw knives. No, bullshit. Knives have a use other than stabbing people. Like guns, an automatic rifle has no use other than like mowing shit down, and that shit is usually people. But as far as like handguns, shotguns, shit like that, I'm okay with all that. I'm more for tighter regulation, like the gun show loopholes and shit like that. That's ridiculous. Yeah,
no, I completely agree with that. I think that all of that needs to be tightened up, and just in general, I think our gun laws in general just need to be fine tuned. Like, we don't need necessarily any like extensively more regulation or anything, because I mean, if you just regulate it more, then people are just gonna still get them. the ones that are doing this shit. But no.
Well, there are certain things that can be done, and there are extremes that can be taken. But I mean, there's simple shit that can be done to like closing the loophole for the gun shows. That right there eliminates a bunch of basically what would have been illegal purchases. They would have been illegal, but since it's at a gun show, it's totally legal to sell a firearm to a felon and shit like that, because you don't have to fight. All you got to do is see the money and shit like that. You're just asking for trouble. And of course, the NRA and shit is in total support of that, because it's their bottom line. They don't give a shit how many people get shot. It's a money issue.
Yeah. No, I agree. Like I mean, what most things come down to as far as like government is concerned is money.
And that's the main issue with our current democracy. The problem with democracy is you have more idiots than smart people, and you're giving those idiots the vote, basically. And the more idiots are going to vote for idiots, and those idiots are going to get in there and they're greedy and power hungry. Those are the kind of people that run for office now. It's not like back in the day when Washington didn't even want to fucking be president, and he refused they wanted him to go again. He's like, no, you don't get that. You don't get that anymore. Now you get people who want to, I don't know. They want to be in power. They want their taste. It's not good enough to serve the people. They just don't give a shit, and like we were saying earlier, Louis Gohmert, Michelle Bachmann, Sarah Palin, all these complete Jody Ernst. Oh my God, get the fuck out of here! Like, and we vote these people. The only candidate or person I've seen that's worth a rat's ass is oh God, he's right here in Florida. Grayson, Alan Grayson. That he's cool. He's like a true progressive. Check him out if you haven't heard of him, Alan Grayson.
Yeah, I haven't, but I will check him out. Kind of move along, I guess, onto topics. What do you think about the Satanic Church wanting to give out the coloring books and the religious totally going, nope, now we're not doing it?
Yeah, they'd rather nothing than equality. They say, like, you're discriminating against our religion, and then when you have another religion claim the same thing, they're like, no, we'd rather have nothing. It's the same as what's happening with the nativity displays and shit. They're like, if you're going to put a satanic display next to the nativity scene, we just won't have anything. If I can't have it my way, we just won't have anything. By the way, we're terribly persecuted here. Like, it's a giant fucking joke. Yeah, it's anytime, like when the invocation before a city council meeting, you bring in people, 10 different religious people, like from 10 different religions, and have them all do their invocations after the Christian invocation at a city council meeting or something like that. And next thing you know, they're like, fuck it, no invocations. If we got to let everyone do it, it's not worth it. It was cool when we could just push our one agenda and our one frame of mind, but when other people get to do the same thing, not so cool.
Yeah, fuck that shit, right? It's either our way or no way, yeah. I guess, maybe.
Religious freedom to a Christian simply means the freedom for them to push their agenda and their religion and not anyone else.
Yeah, it's really odd how that works out, too, because, it's like, because they always come on and they talk about, how Christians are being attacked or blah, 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 blah. But, it's really just us making them follow the law. I mean, can you imagine how stupid somebody would look if they came on to Fox News and they started complaining about a speeding ticket? Just like when they were obviously speeding. It's like, why did I have to get this goddamn ticket? If I want to go 80 miles an hour through a neighborhood, wait. I should.
If they were late for church, that's just religious freedom.
Oh, is it? Yeah, okay.
All right. If you're running late for church, you can totally go 80 through a school zone. That's covered under religious freedom. And if you don't let them do that, that's religious discrimination. You're persecuting the poor victims.
Yeah, you're preventing them from getting to his religious service, I guess.
Oh my God.
I always love the when Christmas time comes around, and they start with the nativity stuff, because it's always Bill O'Reilly that starts the war on Christmas by saying that there's a war on Christmas. Until that point, there's not really a war on Christmas at all.
It's the same thing we did with the war in Iraq. It's not like they were freaking at war with us. We just went over there and started shooting shit up and dropping bombs, and then it was the war. There was no war. We just basically invaded their asses. I mean, Jesus, the war was, people, yeah, like you with Bill O'Reilly. You push and you push and you push. It's like the bully that every day takes your fucking milk money. Every day takes your milk money. And then one day you're like, fuck it, I ain't giving you my milk money. And they're like, stop persecuting me. No, it's someone finally standing up for themselves, and you can't stand that shit. You think standing up for yourself is a virtue, but anyone else doing the same is like, oh, it's terrible. They shouldn't do that shit. Get the fuck out of here.
So, since, at least we had Skeptic Finch Show in the comments. I don't know where he's at right now, but, so when did you start doing, stuff, I guess, more actively with other, people on YouTube or social media and whatnot?
Well, I've always enjoyed doing live shows and having, other people in there, a lot of like dark matter, grappling ignorance, people like that. But with the Skeptic Fence show, it used to be different hosts. Jamie, sorry, get, Jamie. He's got the cat cornered. He thinks he's real. Get out of there. Anyway, but used to have different hosts, and they came up with the idea to have the Cooter Report, which is from the Skeptical Caveman video, which basically this caveman named Cooter, who's dumb as a box of rocks, thinks pissing on a fire is good luck for the hunt, and the Skeptical Caveman is trying to explain to him how that's just confirmation bias. It's really fucking funny. But so we had the Cooter Report when I could find the dumbest like caveman like guy. And originally I wasn't a host, but then they had a falling out one night. Joe got a little tipsy or had a couple beers. Nothing compared to what how shit faced we get now. But they didn't like that or whatever, so they left. And then so he brought me in, and then we found Paul, and then we found Drew, and now we're just one big happy family. I really love the Skeptic Fence show. Drew and I are actually starting our own. I believe we're going to call it the Goddamn Podcast.
Huh, nice.
Yeah, we're going to start that, I believe, on Tuesday. We're going to do it Tuesdays so that at the end of the show I can tell people see you next Tuesday, which is a cunt reference.
Well, what's the premise of the show, or is it just kind of like a shoot the shit kind of thing?
It's going to be basically anything that we come across that we want to talk about. And we're going to save those videos or links. It's basically going to be what my live shows used to be, now in this format. It'll be pretty much anything. News, YouTube, kind of like Drunken Peasants-ish, but without, I don't know, like without the constantly going after like Vigilant Christian or shit like that. We'll cover some fun shit, some like crazy shit, some stupid shit, and we'll just end up having a good time, I think. And then it'll go as long as we have material, and then be over, because my schedule just changed, so Tuesdays have now become open for me, and so I'm going to try and use it.
Cool.
Entertain, keep the people happy, give them what they want.
So what do you think about the Vigilant Christian?
He's obviously right about everything, and
I
didn't realize how much Geico and McDonald's and Pokemon and My Little Pony were satanic until he opened my eyes, and now I totally understand. Yeah, I've actually had people in my videos tell me that the skull with the crown thing, I'm like, it's just a Jolly Roger with like a crown, and they're like, no, that's a satanic symbol that they don't want you to know about. Like, well, if I don't use it as a satanic symbol, they're not doing a good job. They're so discreet that I have not gotten the message.
Yeah. I've done one video in response to Vigilant Christian, because it's like after I did that one video, I hadn't seen him before, and I did the one video, and then it's like I subscribed to him, and I was watching to see if he said any more stupid shit, and I was like, I greatly underestimated the amount of stupid shit that he's gonna post, and it's gonna be.
You said underestimated. Isn't that a Bushism?
Yeah. Sorry, I stumbled over my words. But yeah, I completely underestimated. I underestimated the amount of stupidity that he would post in a single day.
I'm telling you. Dude, you have to be... See, to me, there's different levels of intelligence. Like, there are people that are too stupid to even think about how smart they are. Then there's the people that are too stupid to know they're stupid. Then there's the, people who are just stupid, but they kind of know they're stupid. Then there's the, moderate, and you get up to it. But at a certain level, there are the people who are not stupid, but they're not they're not smart enough for their own good, and they see like symbolism and shit everywhere. You know what I mean? And it becomes where your intelligence, it becomes like a detriment to you because you're using it to harm yourself instead of to actually get smarter or anything. You're using it to like look for like, oh my god, all this weird that doesn't matter, by the way. Let's say they're totally right about the Illuminati. Like, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna like? Oh, you're exposing it by making a video. Like, what does that change? Nothing. Changes nothing.
Yeah, you know, if you really were to think about it, if somebody were like going to be exposing the Illuminati, don't you think the Illuminati would have like enough money to pay off a hitman that is so good that it's pretty much like in the hitman game. Like you need it to look natural.
You don't understand. You see, the Illuminati got that way by being smart. You don't go around killing people that are talking. You actually put people out there that talk about the Illuminati and give false information.
Oh, I see.
You understand? Like, if you go like kill a bunch of people, it's going to be obvious. Like, oh my god, everyone that talked about the Illuminati and it had more than 10 people listening to them all got shot within a week or whatever. They'd be like, oh, something's going on. But if you are smart Illuminati, you go and hire people like Alex Jones and you put them out there. And then you just like you get to shift the train of thought of those crazy ass people however you like, because you've given them someone to listen to, and that someone literally sells like male vitality serum or some shit. You know that Alex Jones sells like man juice.
I don't want any Alex Jones man juice. He can keep his man juice to himself.
You just wait until later on. I think the third quarter of 2015, we're releasing cock juice.
Cock juice?
Get it? I'm releasing cock juice. That's fucking hilarious. I don't care who you are. That right there is funny.
Oh man. So like in your YouTube career, have you like had anybody that's like gone after you specifically?
I used to have a back and forth a lot with. You remember Big Jerry? I think he changed his name to Night Vision Phantom.
No.
He's this really fat creationist guy. But me and him had a lot of back and forths back in the day. And he'd ask me a question and I would try and answer it, and he'd have a reply video, and then I would ask him a question and he would try and answer it and I would reply, and it was a lot of back and forth. That's back when I had a lot more free time on my hands. Yeah, obviously I do not have the time for that shit. He didn't have very many subscribers either, but I just enjoyed the conversation, and I figured everyone else did as well, and that's why I bothered to. I linked to his video. This is back when you could make video responses on YouTube. Like, they have fucked YouTube so bad. Do you remember back when... All right, I remember 5-star rating. You remember that?
No.
Oh, yeah. Back in the day, they had 5-star, not just thumbs up, thumbs down. You could rate from 1 to 5 stars. And before that, they actually had this thing where, like, they would tell you the top 100, bloggers and the top 100 journalists and the top of YouTube, so you could see what was popular and who was like saying what. They've totally fucked all that in the name of making a few bucks, and now it's all about ads and promoting sponsored channels and shit like that. They've totally, YouTube has become just, you screwed.
You screwed.
you don't get the same kind of, you get basically a very small amount of people that get a shitload of subscribers, and everyone else kind of just sits in the dust.
Yeah.
And I'm not. That's not saying that I deserve more subscribers. I'm saying like there are a lot of channels that deserve a lot more subscribers. My personal opinion is channels like Armored Skeptic deserve more subscribers than like Jacqueline Glenn. That's my personal opinion. I'm not saying I don't like Jacqueline Glenn or anything like that. I'm saying, when you look at the video content, it's just like they should be reversed. She's got almost 300,000 subscribers. He's just past 50, I think. which is still more than me, but whatever.
Yeah.
It's I don't know. It seems like the attention goes the wrong way. Like, he just does such better content and puts so much more time into it, and she's got a tank top. I mean, don't get me wrong. She makes decent videos, but she does not put the same kind of effort or whatever into it that, like, Armored Skeptic does. And I personally love Armored Skeptic, so I'm probably just a fanboy.
I really like Armored Skeptic too. I remember before he made his not his very last video, but the one about the Megan Fox.
Oh yeah.
I had actually been his friend on Facebook, and I sent him that link, and he's like, I was confused at first, but then I saw the comedy.
Dude, I actually, he mentioned me in his, I think it was his last video, or no, not the last one, the one before that, the one where was it the Megan Fox one where he's going and, like, where it was like a journey or whatever?
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, that's the one. Yeah, I got mentioned there towards the end. He was going through a whole bunch of people that he followed on YouTube or whatever. I was quite, I don't know, humbled.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice that, I occasionally get the message, like, I live with my family. They all watch Fox News and love it, and I can't stand it. And I just sit there and listen to your videos, like, in my earphones or whatever, while they're watching Fox News. And it's awesome. Thanks. I have people that are like, I used to be a lot more conservative, but, I've definitely leaning more towards, like, the liberal view on a lot of things because, a lot of conservatives just do a really good job making themselves look stupid. And I'm basically just pointing it out. But at the same time, it's mockery helps because if you have an irrational belief on the internet or whatever, people are just not going to let you get away with it. Not everyone is just going to let you say some crazy shit. Someone's going to challenge you. And if you care about believing the truth and not just whatever you want to believe, you have to take other arguments into consideration and come to the best conclusion that you can. And if you hear arguments like people are like, why are you an atheist? It's like, doesn't make sense. Like, do you believe in every God ever? No, then you're an atheist towards those gods. And I'm an atheist just one God further. And they still can't get it. Like, people like that are whatever, too far gone. but there are people who actually care about not lying to themselves, and I'm aiming my shit towards that group.
Kind of going back to your Catholic, I guess, sort of a Catholic background. I actually grew up in a private Catholic school.
So you're very familiar with the buggery.
Yeah. Yes, very much so. But I'm just kind of wondering, like, and this is kind of radically changing topics here, but did you, like, have any, like, when you started questioning things, did like you have your any, like, friends that were kind of in opposition to the way that you were going or anything like that?
Not terribly, and I also got pretty good at distancing myself from people who, I'm like, if you call yourself my friend, but then aren't willing to, either hear me out or accept, that even accept that I question it or whatever, then you're not really a friend as far as I'm concerned, and so shit like that became pretty clear. I've always been okay with being by myself. Like, so I'm not really out to try and impress anybody. And that's always been kind of my thing. And I'm okay with that I've been wrong a bunch of times, that I have made a bunch of mistakes. But people that, you just don't need to surround yourself with ignorant people or people that try and hold you down intellectually or whatever, just because they claim it offends them or some shit like that. Fuck people like that. Fuck them. You don't need them. They're not going to help you out at all, ever. It's not doing you or them any favors for you to pretend. that you respect their shit. I had some girl at work, and she's really sweet, and there's absolutely no ill will or anything, but she comes into work one day, and she's like, "It's a beautiful day," and I'm like, "We're busy as shit," and I've been there for like since really early in the morning, and she just fucking showed up, bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. "Oh, it's a beautiful day," and she's like, "You know why?" Looking right at me, and I'm like, "Why?" And she goes, "Because Jesus is letting us breathe."
Oh my God.
And I'm like, I literally like blinked once and then just turned around and walked away. Like, what the fuck else are you gonna say to someone like that? Like, I'm busy here. Get the fuck away from me. Jesus Christ, Jesus is letting us breathe.
I can't remember if it was a meme I saw on Facebook or something, but there's this one thing that goes around. It's like, don't forget about God because he didn't forget to wake you up today or something like that. And, that's like, okay, are you implying those that pass away peacefully in their sleep, God just fucking forgot to wake their ass up in the morning? Is that what the deal is?
No, then those people have God has bigger plans for them. So you see, it's just everything God. If you wake up, it's God. If you don't wake up, it's God. If your girlfriend or wife wrecks the car and isn't injured, that's God. If your girlfriend or wife gets in a wreck and only breaks like her wrist or whatever, then that was God that made sure it was only the wrist. And then if she gets into an accident and gets like in critical condition, it was God that saved her from dying. If she goes into a coma, it's God that's keeping her from dying. And if she dies, God has a bigger plan for her. You see how all of that fucking works? It's just so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, when it's that easy, you really don't even have to think about it. You just be like, well, it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Good enough for me.
Yeah, my dad, he actually needed to get heart surgery at one point, and so like the whole story of it was that he went in for a checkup, and they're like, "Oh, okay, well you're gonna need a stent." And so, like, he posted on Facebook to get prayers and everything, and everybody was like, "Oh, praying for you," and whatnot. And then he goes back to the doctor and comes back and is like, "Oh, no, now I need a quadruple bypass." And it's like, well, let's just pray some more because that fucking worked the first time. And it finally ended up with him only needing a triple bypass. So, God kind of came through there at the end.
And it was obviously God that gave us the heart surgeon.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah, it's God allowed that heart surgeon to save him, so it's really, God's thing.
I'm gonna put a bunch of engineers. You're an engineer, yeah?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put a bunch of you guys in a room with no tools, no material, just a Bible, and then see what you can build.
Wait, paper airplanes?
Yeah. No, but seriously, like, or even if I gave you materials but no, there's no blueprints, there's no nothing. You can't, you just get the Bible to come up with your awesome, to use your awesome engineering skill. What the fuck could you possibly come up with? And that would be efficient in today's day and age. Yeah. Absolutely nothing. Nothing.
Well, yeah. Well, ironically, that you bring that up because, I'm a computer and a software engineer. And so, pretty much everything that I can do, I guess, engineer-wise, that I have my degrees for were actually made possible by a gay atheist. So...
a gay theist?
Well, yeah, Alan Turing.
Oh, there you go. I was thinking you were going to say George Takei.
No.
Oh my. I do love me some George Takei.
Yeah, he's pretty awesome.
Yeah, he is.
So, actually, before we came on to this hangout, there was a article that was talking about the Supreme Court revisiting, making marriage equality blanket across the states. Personally, I think that's the only way we're going to get some states to actually legalize it. Like, for instance, mine.
Yeah, Bama. Roll Tide.
Yeah.
Roll Tide. Just don't roll over and take it in the ass.
But what do you think about the Supreme Court having so much like their hands in a lot of things? Like I think that making a blanket.
Does the Constitution say anything about one man, one woman?
No.
Then I guess it's okay that the Supreme Court stands in for the rights of others.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, I mean, shit, they're giving Hobby Lobby all kinds of fucking religious rights. It's about time they gave someone else some fucking rights.
Yeah.
If you're going to give up business rights, you might as well give your citizens rights.
Yeah. Well, no, I guess I was going to say that I think the Supreme Court definitely needs, or like has a say in that, but like as far as them getting brought these cases like Hobby Lobby or like the decisions they've made with the prayers before meetings and whatnot. I was just kind of curious what you have think about that.
Prayers before meetings for what?
Well, no, like the Supreme Court decisions on like prayers before town meetings or whatnot, and then of course they had the crappy ass decision with Hobby Lobby giving them basically more rights than women, it seems.
Yeah, well, it's more rights than their employees. It gives a business more rights than the people who work for the business, which is fucking crazy because the business is a corporation is not a fucking person. People make a corporation. The corporation does not make fucking people. To give a business entity more legal rights than the fucking people who work for it is absolutely insane. To say like the business thinks this way, therefore the employees don't get to do this, which other people can still do. It's not like the business is saying don't do cocaine and the law says don't do cocaine and they coincide. It's totally separate from the fucking law. That's absolutely bullshit. Yeah, and as far as the praying before meeting shit, did you see what I did in my local?
No.
Search on my channel for All Rise for Prayer and Pledge.
Okay.
It's a video where at first I covered someone else's video where they were kicked out for not standing for the Christian prayer, the invocation. But then they let that pass, but then he won't stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, and the cops escort him from the room. I went to the very next meeting, and I was the only one there that sat in protest, and they didn't ask me to leave or whatever or say anything. But then they said they needed to relook at it because they were skipping the invocation, and it was the first time they'd ever had to do that in like 30 years. So they're going to relook at it. Anyway, I did a video covering it, and then an update video, which is linked through the original or whatever. But you should definitely check that out. That's what I did. That's what everyone should do locally. The Supreme Court is not going to, even if they do rule in a certain way in certain communities, they're not going to give a shit. They're still going to pray to open their meetings and shit. They just don't care.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, you have a lot of people that think that this nation is based on Christianity, so we should be able to pray. Because there's that one, I think it was a mayor in North Carolina that was actually going to block anybody that wasn't a Christian that wanted to do the little prayer, I guess, before the meeting. Like, so basically only Christians were allowed to pray before the meeting. Everybody else had to just get the fuck out.
Favoring one religion over another, which is expressly forbidden in the Constitution for the government to do. And that's a government fucking meeting one way or another. Not federally, but locally. And if it's representing all the people, it needs to represent all the people.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's been fun, man. But it's
oh yeah,
late.
yeah, I know.
I'm early.
I didn't notice the time. But yeah, so we're going to be going off air now. If you will look me up on YouTube, I'm the Godless Engineer. I'm also on Facebook. I have a nice group that's got about 10,000 people in it.
I am currently your 2,494th subscriber.
Awesome. Well, I hope I don't disappoint C0ct0pus in my videos.
You better not, man.
Yeah.
I'll unsubscribe, and I'll leave a comment saying so. I'm unsubscribing from this shit. Oh, those are my favorite comments. I'm like, what? Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out.
Yeah, they I always love it when people say that. I got so much butt hurt on my page over the few months that it's just ridiculous that people would quit over.
It only increases the more subscribers you get. Wait until you get over 10,000, then it starts getting fun.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but everybody go.
Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, everybody go check out C0ct0pus if you're not already a fan or on the Skeptic Fence show friend list. But go check them out. We've also got the Patreon link for C0ct0pus in the description, and I would highly suggest becoming one. I'm not one yet, but that's just because I've been broke as fuck for the past year.
The rewards are actually pretty decent. A lot of people are just like, pay me to do what I've always been doing, but you are actually getting quite a bit extra out of becoming a patron. And like I said, I'm not like destitute. I work way too much. That's why I'm going to bed right now. I've got to work early in the morning, but it definitely helps to know that I'm making money, and it helps me. Makes me want to do more, and that's why I'm going to start the goddamn podcast. I'm going to buy another computer so I can do edits and shit upstairs, because I'm kind of stuck downstairs with this one. But yeah, it kind of makes it worthwhile.
Awesome. Well, pimp whatever you got. I know I kind of already did.
I'm gonna pimp this awesome guy that he interviews really cool people. His name's Godless Engineer. Everybody check him out. Subscribe to him. I just did, and if it's good enough for me, it's good enough for you.
Awesome. All right. Let me get back over here to end it. But it was really awesome talking to you, C0ct0pus, and I hope maybe in the future sometime you would love to be back on. I guess I hope everybody has a nice night.
You definitely. And next time you see me doing like a live show or a podcast or whatever, feel free to drop me a line, and we will be happy to include you.
Awesome. That sounds great.
All right, man.
All right.
Have a good night.
You too.